So welcome everyone to the Cinema Rosa. So this is a let's play by myself, and I'm the developer, and this game has been in development for about 2 years now. So I'm really keen to show you what we've been working on and to show you kind of what the game looks like. So let's kind of get started with this. So the premise of this game is that you're exploring an abandoned cinema, something that used to be full of life as an introduction video, which is now kind of deteriorating to a new state.
I walk at night in the Cinema Rosa, basking in the afterglow of our time together, sifting through notes and memories.
Now objects are meant to have text come up when you interact with them. There's a bug at the moment which is stopping that from happening. This game is in beta stage, so there are a few bugs, there are a few problems that will come up. They are being worked on and they will be fixed for the final version. You know, as any independent game, you have hundreds of bugs to fix and not enough time. And so the basic interaction in the game happens with objects, so you can interact with objects, you can pick up and read things. There's kind of a bit of backstory and history. It's kind of scattered throughout the game, and hopefully some of the bits and pieces will be quite interesting. The idea was to set this in an Art Deco cinema, so this is a cinema that was built kind of 1920s, 1930s. It has that kind of style of architecture. Some objects you can't use yet, you need to kind of work out what they do. This is a projector, obviously. Originally the game was going to be called Projection, but I think there are 2 or 3 other games with that name already, so it kind of went in a different direction. Named it after the cinema itself.
Do you remember when we first met? It was out by the Caroline docks and the ships were sailing in. The pigeons were chasing us around, while your eyes shone like so many late-night dancers. Sometimes I relive that moment in my head, watching you at the wharf as you leave, ceaselessly. I can't escape the feeling that everything would have gone differently had I talked to you back then.
So you can see that, like, just by the first puzzle we've kind of rebuilt the room a little bit, and one of the main parts of this game is the idea that you're kind of rebuilding the cinema, bringing it back to life, bringing it back to how it used to look before everything fell apart.
have kept this diary hidden away from you, locked inside the Cinema Rosa. You're probably already trawling through my things searching for clues. I knew you'd come looking for me. You always do. It started as a project between the two of us, opening a cinema. I remember that day so clearly now. I had a plan to meet you in Oxford that afternoon. The idea was to explore the library together, chase down the last remaining copy of Tolstoy's diary. On the way out, we stumbled on this old book on Art Deco cinemas. It was the perfect project, a way for us to live out 100 different lives together.
You should be able to pick this up. Again, the text would help. I think I'm going to have to bug fix that and find out why that's happening. So,
Even then, there were warning signs. The fire in the projection room, the accident in the lobby. The newspapers began calling the place haunted. Maybe they were onto something.
I've written out these directions. Read them carefully, so there won't be any mistake.
Darling, that's me. July 1st, 5 o'clock, 102nd floor, top of the Empire State Building.
Yes. That's it right there. It's the tallest building in the world. You can't miss that. It's the nearest thing to heaven we have in New York. You sure you take the elevator? Well, until we meet again, take care of yourself.
The next week, we saw the opening of a film. Imagine that. Seeing a premiere in your very own cinema. I remember that vacant stare you had on the way out. Like your mind was playing out ideas in some distant universe.
obviously I have the advantage of knowing where everything is, so that's what happens when you make a game.
It all comes back to those late night stints in the office. You had this idea that if you worked hard enough, you could become someone else, someone better. Everything became a sale. Your voice, your movement, your belief system. Anything that wasn't tied down was sold off, until I could no longer recognize you.
So the idea of each puzzle is to kind of work out where the object belongs. So in this case we have a matchbox, and earlier we've come across this fireplace, and so kind of putting one and one together.
Months passed until things got worse. I was away on business, and when I came back you could barely look at me. I saw the fire in your eyes, smoke filling up the projection room, everything we had worked towards collapsing in a single afternoon. Someone had disabled the fire alarms. That was the first time we went to Michael. He was recommended by a friend. Michael worked in this grey, simple office out west, with nothing on the walls. It somehow needed more color to it.
So this is a classic escape room. So there's a sign on the wall saying there's nothing outside this room. And then, among other things, this note is kind of suggesting that, you know, there might actually be something outside the room. you can open the drawers and you find that there is some red object in them. And if you read this, you kind of start to realize what the numbers of the wall are. The numbers on the wall are kind of the RGB channels which create color on computers. So you want to create red, and you have these 3 channels. So the idea is you have to put the maximum amount into the red channel, which is the first one.
Michael said he couldn't help. It had gone on too long. It was already infecting your brain, seeping through neural networks like a worm through soil, erasing every memory.
So the idea of the game is that you actually have these dream sequences which kind of interact with reality in some way. So you go into the dream, you actually pick up an object, or you pick up something that can actually be used in the real world. And so there's kind of this melding of worlds which gets more and more prominent as the game goes on, to the extent that when you get to the end, there should be a kind of a merging of the two. That you can't
Michael
really
phoned
tell
me that night.
What's real?
Said it would
what's
never be the same.
a dream.
I didn't believe him. I couldn't. We never went to Oxford, did we? Everything appears and disappears.
So this is the end of the demo copy of the game. So I'm going to end this here, and I just want to say, you know, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, come and take a look at what we're up to. We're constantly improving the game, we're constantly doing bug fixes, trying to get things up and running. If you're a journalist, then please see our press kit for further information. And if you want to keep in contact with us and kind of see how the game progresses, you can actually join our Discord channel, which isn't listed here, but if you go to our Facebook page or our Twitter page, you'll be able to see our Discord channel as one of the posts in there. So come along and join our Discord, have a chat with us about the game, tell us what you think. If you don't want to do that, leave a comment on Facebook or Twitter, tell us what you think about the game. Follow us on indiedb.com. Yeah, and we'll keep posting updates and let you know how it goes. So thanks for watching. Cheers.